welcome back. Today we got another Nissan Frontier video. Today I'm finally going to get the ditch lights wired up into the new switch that I showed you where our new switch panel is. I'll link it up in the corner if you missed that video. So we're going to get it wired up to a permanent switch, and that means working a little bit under the hood. So let me go ahead and show you what we're doing. Alright, so I picked up this Blue Sea Systems 12 circuit fuse panel. I've already got it mounted up here kind of on the top of this existing relay box. I will show you what I did there, but I got the 12 circuit one because there's going to be maybe like 4 more switches. I also have some accessory plugs that I want to set up in the truck there for plugging some things in, so we're going to need some extra circuits there, and they can all be on their own circuit now. So let me show you what I did here. So this is just on top of this relay panel here, and I just took the fuse panel and stuck it on top of the lid, drilled through, and then used some short nuts and bolts there that you can see, so it'll mount it up there nice. And then when I go to wire this up to the battery and everything else, I'll just have to leave some extra there so you can still get this off and work on that whenever needed. And then I did have to clean off my positive terminal because it was getting really corroded, but that's nice and clean now. So here is the little wiring harness that comes with these KC highlights here. So what we've got is the positive that goes to the switch, and then the negative, and then this red line comes from the switch that powers up the lights when you turn the switch on. So basically all we're going to have to do is I'm going to run some new wires into the new switch, and that's going to require me running from here through the firewall to the switch for positive. I can find a negative in there, but there is a negative terminal block here as well, so I might as well use that. And then you run another positive from the switch itself, and then we'll splice it into this guy here. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then I'll kind of show you along the way what I'm doing. Alright guys, let me show you what I've got so far. So I've got a negative wire as well as a positive. I wanted to get it connected to this terminal, but I cannot get this bolt undone, so I've used this nut right there. So I've got my negative, my positive. I'm going to have kind of a drip loop down in here so I can still take this off. You can see my negative line here, positive line here, and then in line with the positive I've got a drip loop coming around, and then a 40 amp fuse here between Blue Sea terminal block and the batteries. So this is a 40 amp, and then it comes up and connects to the positive of the battery. And then here I've got, this is the negative to my switch and the positive to my switch. And then here we have our accessory wire, which I've also already routed through the firewall. So this goes to the accessory part of our switch. This is what turns on our lights. That'll splice into the wire for the ditch lights, which is this red line here. And then this negative I will connect to the same block here as our switches. This is our negative block. So I've ran all that through the firewall, which there's a membrane right here. Here's my accessory wire. I haven't zip tied that up yet, but that goes into all of our wiring, comes into the driver's footwell. That membrane there is right there, and then I've kind of routed it all the way down under all this carpeting here, and then you can see it come up into the dash, into the center console, and it goes right behind there. And then here's our little wiring here. So this is our negative on the switch. This is the lower light negative on the switch. This is the upper light negative on the switch. Here's our power input right here, and then our accessory positive will go right here. And then this one is a positive for the lights on the switch itself. I still have to find a wire under the dash somewhere. This is the terminal that lights up this switch when the headlights are on. So still got to find that and route these wires a little bit nicer. But yeah, moving along pretty well. All right, guys, here is kind of sort of the finished product. So this is the Blue Sea fuse panel. I've already got the fuse installed. Lights are working. Show you that here in a second. But it's got this nice little cover you can open up, access everything. So we've got our main positive, main negative. We've got our negative for our switch, negative for our lights, and then we have our positive that goes to our switch, and then the accessory wire spliced into the original KC highlights wire. It's just down in there. And then I'll show you inside the truck. You can see I've got the wire zip tied along this wire loom here, then it enters the truck right there. Here is the switch. So we've got our lower light. So the lower light on the switch, the upper light on the switch, these are both negative for that. And you can see our negative wire. That's also our main switch negative. We have our main power in. My neighbor is cutting tile, and then we have the accessory wire that goes to our lights. All right, so you see down there is off. Flip that guy on. There we go. We'll go ahead and flip it off. And they are off. So this switch lights up if you turn the headlights on. What I think I'm gonna do is get a fuse tap, and all the fuses are over there. Stick a fuse tap in and run a wire over, and then if I ever add any more switches, I'll just do a bus bar under here so I can connect all the switches to the accessory lights. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put back together, and then run over to the store, get a fuse tap, and see if I can get that done here. Okay guys, so I couldn't find a circuit that only came on with the lights, so I did do an accessory circuit. So this one here comes on with the ignition, so the light here will come on with the key, which is fine. But I got a little fuse tap just at O'Reilly's. It was like 10 bucks, and then you get a second circuit out of this fuse, and then it adds another fuse. So there's two fuses hooked up to the same circuit here, and then I routed it underneath the dash, and then it comes out here, and then you can see the setup here. So again, we have our grounds for the lower light on the switch, the upper light on the switch. This is our power in. This is the accessory, so the ditch lights, and then this is the power in for when the key is on. So that will turn this light on when the, God, he's still cutting tile. That wire will turn this light on when the key goes on the truck. I've gone ahead and stuck the key in the ignition. So let's go ahead and turn it on. So there you can kind of see it. So this is actually an amber upper independent. So what that means is this light is independent from this one, and it's amber, so it matches all the amber in the truck. And then when you turn the lights on, then the whole thing comes on. So you can see there. And then when you shut it off, this goes off. So super cool switch. You can tell if your lights are on, and then you can see this at night. So there you go. If you've seen in my previous video, I'll link that as well. I have an amps mounting plate up here for phone, GoPro, etc. So while I was at it running all these new circuits, I added a charging circuit up here for the GoPro and the phone. And then these are super cool because you can just hit a button and then it'll turn on. I don't know if you can see the blue light. There you go. and then there's a button on there to turn it on and off. And then it has 2 USB-Cs and a regular USB. And I stuck one down here because my wife always complained about not being able to charge her phone. So again, 2 USB-Cs and a quick charge 3.0 USB. Again, there's a little button there. You can see it. And then that'll turn that guy on. All right, guys, that was just a nice little project for today. It's a beautiful day. We just got snow a couple days ago, so figured I probably better get this done before the weather gets pretty bad out. So fun little project to get my switch panel up and going, and then a couple other charging spots for phones and GoPros and whatnot. So if you guys have any questions on anything I've done here, just comment down below. I will definitely leave a link for all the products that I used today, as far as the wiring, connectors, the Blue C setup, the USB deals and all that. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit that like button, hit subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos on the truck, camping, etc. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.